Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to the Sports Talk Network channel. Welcome to another location of me doing a video. I probably will be doing most of these videos today, as you will tell, from the same seated location. My doggy here, Bella, puppy dog, might jump in periodically. And says, but I'm watching the tournament on mute right now. Gardner Webb is actually beating Virginia right now. Oh, there's Bella. There you go. But anyway, Gardner Webb win there. Texas Tech just beat Northern Kentucky 72-57. So there you go. I'll have to remember that. Anyways, let's get into the review of This Is Us episode 16, season 3. It's true we made our way out of this forsaken hospital waiting room, but all that angst and anger and fear and sadness that was felt while stuck in there last week, how will it moving forward? Don't Take My Sunshine Away is very loosely tied together by a flashback to 1992 when the Big Three attended their first school dance, and Jack and Rebecca take along as chaperones. Objectively speaking, Jack and Rebecca are cool parents, but don't you think they'd be extremely embarrassing to a bunch of 12-year-olds at a dance? They're making out in the library and slow dancing in the middle of the gym. I think it's cute, but imagine how the children feel at that moment. It's all about the children, right? The whole point of this trip to an awkward preteen event is first to allow Jack to remind us of his troubled childhood. Rebecca shocked to hear that he never went to a school dance, hence their slow dance later. But you know Jack had bigger problems. I suspect that now that we've solved the mystery of both Jack's death and his time in Vietnam, his story is going to pivot to what happened with his parents. Otherwise, I fear we're running out of Jack's stories, and it would be a shame to lose him. But I digress. Jack is so happy to be at this school dance and sees that, unlike him, his kids are getting a normal childhood. He praises Rebecca for providing it and believes things are going to be effortless for them. But, yeah, as always, allowed to be anything but effortless. Oh, and then he starts talking about what his kids' happily ever afters will be, and I wanted to say, well, because they will be nothing. I mean, I'm sure this series has to end on some type of hopeful note, or at least a bittersweet one, for sure, right? You know, after everything that's happened and the ups and downs, twists and turns, you know, that's going to be the way it's going to end at that point whenever the series does end. Doesn't much matter in the present, though, because we're still winding our way through the sadness. I mean, even the child who seems poised to have a happy ending is slowly losing sight of that endgame. Randall and Beth are not in a great place. Again, we get a little montage of them attempting to keep up with their crazy schedules, and it is truly exhausting. But to make sure no one has to give up anything, it seems to be the only way. I mean, they could move to Philadelphia. They do have dance schools there, and in the long run, it would benefit the daughters to have their parents around more. But there we go. As they attempt to do it all, Beth and Randall never see each other, and whatever one tries to do for the other is never good enough. Randall rushes around and works like heck to get to Beth's first recital, but he is a few minutes late, and she reminds him of that. Was the theme of the recital passive aggression, but it is what it is. Randall begs Beth to come to an important dinner, even though that means she'll have to give up a work meeting she wants to attend. And when Beth doesn't show up, Randall calls her and leaves a truly heinous voice message demanding her job, or demeaning her job, sorry, not demanding, demeaning her job and telling her to grow the heck up is truly Randall's at his worst. And then Beth shows up at the dinner. She was stuck in standstill traffic and her phone died. But not before she hears Randall's awful voicemail. She acts the part of the wonderful, supportive wife during the dinner, but as they leave, she tells Randall to sleep at his office. Her husband was a Dick and she is not having it. Unfortunately, Randall is not having it. They slammed the door shut and prepare to have it out. So we have that streaming match to look forward to next week between those two. So sure, why not? Exactly, Bella. Exactly. I feel the same way in regards to Randall and their BS. But it be what it be, right? Anyways, moving right along, Randall's siblings are very much better praised. I mean, better. It's relative, but honestly, they both seem happy by episode's end. Kate and Toby are 6 days into parenthood, and baby Jack is still helping it out in the NICU. If you too are worried about how uneasy Toby looked at the end of last week's episode, you had reason to be. Toby is a mess. Though while Kate is there being strong and optimistic and singing lullabies to her son, Toby looks at him and can only see tubes and pain. I mean, it's definitely something no one should ever have to look at, but Toby really leaves his by pain. He meets another dad in the dreaded waiting room who has been there with his wife and daughter for 6 weeks. And they swap stories and inadequacies and fears to each other. He tells Toby that women are just better at this. And yeah. But thankfully, Toby realizes he needs to make a change. He apologizes to his wife and admits to feeling so overwhelmed and out of his wheelhouse. Kudos to Kate for not rolling her eyes and being like, okay. Instead, she tells him she believes in him and leaves him alone with his son. Sounds good. Yeah. Not that I enjoy watching scary baby stories like this, but I will say since the graduation episode, and since I've never liked Katie Torr's storyline more. I mean, I know there's only 3 episodes with that since then, but we have to start somewhere in regards to their storyline, see their story. But hey, Kevin's not doing so bad either. We don't get to see Zoe or any of his family confronting him about the vodka in a water bottle thing, which feels like a huge missed opportunity. But we see the aftermath. Kevin and Zoe are in couples therapy. She is ready to be there for Kevin throughout his recovery, but she cannot take lies. I just don't want to be a sucker, she says. I mean, she could be, but Kevin seems very convincing, as he always does, about being honest and dealing with this and wanting her forever with babies and a home and the whole 9 yards. It's the kid thing that gives Zoe pause. She tells Kevin that she doesn't want children, ever. It's something she's thought about for a good long time, and it's not going to change. Kevin's immediate response is that he could be okay without kids, which is maybe the least convincing he's been ever. Zoe wants him to really think about it before deciding, but says that he should figure it out because neither of them should waste the other's time if they aren't on the same page about this. It's a very rational, respectful thing that I enjoy from Zoe there in that moment. For sure. Kevin's testing out different AA meetings throughout the city and ends up at one in Park Slope near Sophie's apartment. Back in 1992, we're witnessing Sophie and Kevin's first kiss. And that's, it's an apartment. Anyway, Sophie rolls up to find her ex-husband, and also ex-boyfriend lurking in front of her apartment. But aside from the fact that there are a dozen ways to walk into the subway, it's all very innocent. Guy was passing through, and also he's being forced to really think about what he wants from his life. For a long time, that was Sophie. She's actually a good person to have that chat with. They go to coffee, and Sophie tells Kevin all about her fiance. His name is Grant, and he's a kindergarten teacher who plays piano and loves Billy Joel. Most likely, he does not harbor intense baggage related to his father's sudden death when he was a teenager. He sounds perfect. But because this is Kevin, the conversation quickly shifts to his current problem. Sophie thinks Zoe sounds good for Kevin. She also reminds him that he everything he's ever wanted in life, so he's not used to making tough choices. Our advice is incredibly unhelpful. He just has to decide what he wants. But now UMBC Twitter trolling things again. They did last year after they win. Another sorry basketball stuff. Well, apparently it is. Kevin goes home and tells Zoe that if he's choosing between a life with her and a life without kids, it's no brainer. He chooses Zoe. It's very romantic, and I want Kevin and Zoe to be together forever. But I feel like this conversation might come up again eventually because that's just how it should go. Then again, Kevin's surprised us all before, but we'll just we'll just have to see what happens moving forward. But it certainly will be it will be interesting for sure, Bella. It will be interesting for sure. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed the review. Enjoyed seeing my puppy dog there. Again, her name is Bella. She's gonna be 2 years old in April, turning 2. So, yeah, she turns 2 in April. I turn 31. So, anyways, hope you enjoyed this review. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you wish to. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. You have a great weekend. Enjoy the basketball tournament if you're a basketball fan. And above all else, as always, take care.